Hey everyone! Alright, so first off, I'm not here today. Obviously, I'm sick. I'm taking today as a sick day, so hopefully I can get better. So thank you to my substitute, whoever you are, for subbing for me. I appreciate it. So very important. During this video, there'll be times where I need to pause. Or you could have a student pause the video. Make sure they're also taking notes, whoever that student is. Very important that the pauses happen. With the pauses come learning. If you don't pause the video, they won't learn. So please pause the video. Please keep the video paused as long as it takes for them to write the notes. They're very mature, they're very responsible, and they respect me as their teacher. So I know that they'll let you know when they're good to go. I'm not going to maximize it yet because I know that my face will obscure these notes that are on the screen right now. So if you would, please. Students, go ahead and copy these notes. I think we have different steps, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for one of my classes. If that's the case, if you'd like to copy these steps down, that'd be great. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is important for part number 3. So if you would, please go ahead and pause the video now and copy down steps 1 through 4. Ready? Pause. All right, sweet. So now that you have these steps copied down, I'm going to go ahead and maximize the screen. I need to write a few things on here. So first thing I need to do, turn this into a pin. First thing I need to do, so flip the variable in the equality symbol if the variable's on the right. That's happening here. So instead of 2 is greater than or equal to a, we'll have a is less than or equal to 2. And then, so now we have the variable flip-flopped. And I think I've done this example in a few of my classes, and I may not have in some of my classes, so if you've already seen this example, just bear with me. And this says construct a number line. Whenever I say construct, I mean using a straight edge. I don't have a straight edge on me that will work with this touchscreen because I'm using my laptop from home. So I need you to bear with me. This number line needs to be straight. Let's try this again. So let's actually do it up here. There we go. There's my number line. That's a straight edge. And then it says circle the given number. So I need to, construct a number line. Helps if I construct it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2. All right. So now we go ahead and circle the number. So we're going to circle 2. And then, so now we've done step 1 and step 2. Most of my classes already made this point. That's why I didn't slow down. So here's the new part. It says use 0 as a test number by plugging in the variable. If true, you shade towards 0. If false, shade away from 0. So we're going to plug in 0 for a. So the way that works is instead of a is less than or equal to 2, we have 0 is less than or equal to 2. And we're checking this. So we put a question mark at the end. All right, so I'll pause here for a moment as you guys get all situated. So is 0 less than or equal to? Well, that's a true statement. And I do need to note that on my paper, that this is true. And since this is true, that means I'm going to shade towards 0. So shading towards 0 from my circle point. So that's this. And then I make a solid arrow at the end. Like this. Bam. So there we go. Then you can fill it in a little bit more so it looks a little bit nicer. All right, so there's step 3. The next one, if the inequality is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, then you have to fill in the circle. Essentially, 2 is also a solution here because it's also equal to, so we fill in the circle here. And there we go. We are done. That is our answer. That right there is our answer. This is our work. That's our work. That word is work. Sorry if it looks weird. Hey, so there you go. If you need a second to copy this down, go ahead and do so. I'll go ahead and give you 5. Alright, so now we move on to the next slide. So I promised I'd give you guys another example. So here I have what is the graph of -3 is less than b. Here's your example number 2. I'll go ahead and give you a moment to copy this down. If you would please pause the video. Alright, so now we go into step 1. I'm going to abbreviate this on here with steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 just with that. So step 1 is flip it. So now we have b is greater than -3. Step 2 is construct a number line. Three of the classes have asked that's not -1. That's not what I wanted. Sorry. There we go. All right. 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3. The minimum number that you have to have on the number line is 5 numbers, and then make sure this number, the number that's here, is also included. All right, so next step, that's step 2, and circle the number, so -3. All right, so we should all be here. If you're not, go ahead and pause the video until everyone's here. All right, now we're ready to move on. All right, so with that, step 3, we use 0 as a test point, so I'm going to plug in 0. I'm going to plug it into number 1 up there, so I have 0 is greater than -3. That is a true statement. 0 is greater than -3, so we're going to shade towards 0. We're going to shade here as well. Sorry for the screen moving. It's the downside of having a touch screen. The positive side is I'm actually able to draw on this, not use the mouse. If I use the mouse, it'd look really bad. All right. And then number 4, nothing changes because there's no equal to, so no change. And that's how you do another example. There you go. So if you need to, go ahead and pause the video. All right, so now we're going to carry on. So now you're going to do a few examples on your own. Here's your examples that I want to do on your own. When you get finished with these, go ahead and compare your results to your table, and then talk about it. And then I'm going to show you the answers on the next slide. So go ahead and copy these down, pause the video, wait until each group is done, and then if you could go ahead and finish, continue playing the video, that'd be great. Make sure each group is finished and that they've all shared their answers and come up with a conclusion at each of the tables. All right, so everyone in each of the groups should be finished. If you're not finished, please pause the video now so that the surprise isn't ruined. So if you notice, a lot of these were actually already solved on the left-hand side already. The only one that's not was this last one. So instead of this, I'm going to say that it's actually n is greater than or equal to 3. So with that being said, our answers are this. So there's the first one. It's the face of a very concentrated man. C is less than 0, so my test point, I can't, this is probably the one that threw you guys off. You can't use 0 as a test point, so I would use 1 as a test point, and then you get 1 is less than 0. That's false, so you would shade away from 1, so you would shade this way, because that way is away from 1. So if that threw you off, don't use 0 as a test point, instead use another number. So use that instead. I apologize. Don't worry, I won't die, I promise. So there's the first two, and then the last one. So the last one. Oops, there we go. So my circle is at 3. If I plug in 0 as a test point, I get 0 is less than 3. That is true. So it's shaded this way. And if you notice, it has an equal to sign. So we go ahead and shade within. This should all be review. You should have graphed these and shaded inequality number lines back in middle school land. So I'm hoping this is just review, and I'm just giving you more tools or ways to solve these. There, that looks like a 3. So there you go. If you need to go ahead and copy these down because you missed them, go ahead and pause the video now. All right, moving on. This slide has the answers. It really was supposed to be the last slide. Oops. All right, here's a new one. Writing an inequality from a graph. Which inequality represents the graph? If you would, please go ahead and copy this down in your notes, and then we'll go ahead and solve. So if you would, please go ahead and copy this down. Pause the video now. All right, so A. I don't like that color. It doesn't really show up very well. Maybe black. Black shows up well. All right, so first thing we start, we need to pick a variable. You can't pick a variable that you can't use, like E and I, so we can pick any other letter because we didn't use any other letter yet. So I'm going to pick X. So I start here with X. And then my number that I'm searching is -1. So now I need to check. It looks like it's going towards 0. So I look, is it greater than -1, or is the shaded part less than -1? Well, less is to the left, greater is to the right. It's going to the right of it, so it's going to be greater than. And then to check to see if it's equal to or not, just see if it's filled in. So it looks to be like the circle, the dot's filled in. So since my circle's filled in, then it also is equal to. And that's it. There's really not a lot of work that goes along with this. So think using your brains, think hard, you should be good. So there's A. If you need to pause to go ahead and get this down, go ahead and do so. So now we have B. B starts at 4. So I'm going to pick a different variable because I already used X, so let's use Y. 4 is what I'm looking at. Starting with Y, checking to 4. It looks like I'm going to the left. Looks like I'm going to the left. I don't know if this is flipped on yours. If it's flipped, I'm sorry. So it's going to the left. Since it's going to the left, that means it's less than 4. And then I look to see if the dot's filled in. The dot is not filled in, so it's not equal to. That's it. Bam. I am done with this slide. If you would please go ahead and pause the video if you need to. All right, so now let's do a check. Boop. Here's our check. So if you would please do these by yourself, check with your groups, and then I'll give you the answers here shortly. All right, so please pause the video. All right, so now you should have done these together in your groups, and you should have got some variables. It's okay if our variables don't match. The only ones you can't use is E and I. I would prefer if you didn't use X and Y because you already have X and Y on your paper from the previous one. And here I am being a hypocrite. I used X and Y because I forgot I was going to use X and Y the other one. So it's less than -3 because it goes to the left of -3. Left is less than. And then it's greater than or equal to 0 because it goes to the right of 0. So hopefully you or your group got that. And that's how you do the next batch in your homework. If you need to, pause the video so you can get these copied down. All right, the next one. You actually have everything you need to do your homework. The last slide here is simply for you. I hope it's not covering up at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and close out of here. Make this a little bigger. So really, this concept summary slide, this is simply for you, so you can get these down. So in word, symbols, and graph, you get all of it at once, so you can check things and make sure. This has all the different combinations of things on there. Less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, all of our symbols, and all of our graphs. So please copy this down in your notes. You can use this as an example to fall back on if you see anything that's unusual in your homework. You have everything now to complete your homework. If you would, for any class time that's remaining, please go ahead and work on your homework. It's due tomorrow. That's Wednesday. It's due by 3 p.m. If you need help with it, plan to stay after school, before school. I'm actually moving on to a new lesson. So if you struggled with this, please let me know. You can let me know on Remind. You can let me know on Twitter. You can also let me know in person the next day. However, I'm not revisiting this because, and here's the key reason. We're building with this. We're using this, we're building on. If you really struggle with this, you'll have more opportunities to work with it as we go into section 3 too. So I wouldn't be too concerned if there's spots that you're missing. However, if you feel like that you could not start the homework at all, then I need you to make some time to come see me, preferably during advisory tomorrow. We don't have tutoring, so that's fine, and that would be great. So I want to end the video. If you need to pause, go ahead and do so. And finally, I want you to know that I really miss you all, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Taking a sick day is a huge inconvenience for me as a teacher. However, I feel like this will help me feel better. So I'm going to go upload this and go spend some time with my family, go to bed. So you guys are great. Have a wonderful evening, day. It's probably like in the morning, and you guys are like, Mr. Rowan, you're crazy. I'm super sick. So, hey, can't wait to see you all. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.